Hi, everybody. This is JC, and this is you're watching Heart at Home. It's a little sunny today. I hope everyone is doing well on this lovely afternoon. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit. As you all know, Sacred Heart is an Ignatian parish, or it's a Jesuit parish, and inspired by Ignatian spirituality. And not tenets, but an important facet of Ignatian spirituality is social justice, inclusion, focus on the marginalized and the oppressed. This morning, actually yesterday, what is time in quarantine? Donald Trump tweeted that he would like to now ban immigration due to COVID-19. At this point, immigration has literally nothing to do with coronavirus, as I think many reasonable people realize. But it's interesting and sad to reflect on how this whole situation, including the virus and literally life or death, is being impacted by things like class in particular, financial resources, and also we see a lot of racism and other injustices rearing their heads in this time of crisis. For example, there's been a lot of increased xenophobic attacks on Asian Americans because the virus is believed to have originated in China. So somehow beating up Asian people here is, appropriate. Certain factions, as mentioned before, are using this as an excuse to blame immigrants. Xenophobia is on the rise. Even if we look at who are most people dying, they're essential workers. And unfortunately in this country, many essential frontline workers at grocery stores and other construction sites in particular, which have remained open, happen to be Black and brown people. And they are unfortunately dying at much higher rates than other races. And from a socioeconomic standpoint, I know I live by myself. Fortunately, I'm still employed, working from home. And that is a privilege. That is, good fortune in some ways. And there are a lot of people who are stuck at home living with multiple generations, who are living in overcrowded spaces because they can't afford more space. There are people who are putting themselves at risk every day, and not just hero doctors, but, the person making minimum wage at the grocery store. And I think for us as Catholics, it's important to realize that as much as growing our own spirituality during this time and how it impacts us personally, it's also a time to recognize how this impacts our more vulnerable populations and our role in calling that, whether that's calling that out, whether that's being more careful, sensitive ourselves, whatever that may look, whether it's just reflecting on our own situation in the midst of all of this. I think it's important. I think it's especially important for us at Sacred Heart because we are informed by these Ignatian ideals. So I will continue to reflect on what my situation and pray for those who are not in the same situation. And I hope you all do the same. Thank you for listening to these very rambling thoughts on this Tuesday afternoon. I hope you are all staying well and staying sane. And we will be back tomorrow. Take care.